If there's anything better than watching our favorite TV couples get together, it's their weddings. These are the best of the best. Outside, in the winter, in New York City, between two people who couldn't be more perfect for each other. What more could you ask for from a TV wedding? Mike and Phoebe's wedding was all sorts of beautiful, and watching them overcome all obstacles to finally be with each other made their nuptials that much sweeter. 20 box office flops that are actually worth watching. Fans who had been rooting for Jane and Raphael from the beginning were elated to finally see them wed. Everything had stood in the way of their love, including themselves, at various times, and it was utterly heartwarming to see things finally pan out in their world. It wouldn't be a TV wedding without something getting in the way. In Ben and Leslie's case, it was a lot of somethings. But such is like for the Parks and Rec gang, and they managed to work through all the crises, like having no rings or dress or officiant, to produce a truly memorable wedding for their friends. 20 Hollywood summer blockbusters that failed miserably. Both of Jim and Pam's weddings were memorable. Their real wedding on the boat and their show wedding at the church. The real wedding proved how perfect they were for each other, while their show wedding gave us the gift of a choreographed dance from their coworkers. It's hard to say which was better. Perhaps the most iconic TV wedding of all time, the Red Wedding is memorable for many different reasons than the rest of the weddings on this list. There was much more blood, death, and generally a much darker affair than other TV weddings. But hey, that's Game of Thrones for you. 20 A-list actors who were once everywhere and then suddenly disappeared. Back to endearing weddings. David and Patrick's wedding served as the series finale for Schitt's Creek, and it couldn't have gone out on a better note. We got one last moment of Alexis inadvertently upstaging her brother and one last epic fashion moment from Moira. What else could we have asked for? Cece and Schmidt's will they won't they relationship was one of the most frustrating to watch in all of television, particularly on Schmidt's end. And their wedding paid homage to that. While we frustratingly watched everything become derailed because of Schmidt, ultimately we were beaming because of his selfless reason for doing so. And their actual ceremony in the loft was beautiful. The 25 worst personal creative decisions in Hollywood history. In true sitcom fashion, Jake and Amy's wedding was also derailed. But two of New York's finest weren't going to let a bomb threat stop them from getting married. And neither was Charles. With a surprise visit from Melipnose, a robot ring bearer, and Amy telling Jake his bud is da bomb, their wedding ends up being perfect. Some of us wanted Luke and Lorelai to get together from her and Rory's very first visit to the diner, and seeing them finally wed in the reboot, one of the best reboots, we might add, was quintessential Gilmore Girls. Stars Hollow is picture perfect, as is a wedding in the middle of the night. TV character deaths that we won't forget anytime soon. Cam and Mitch's wedding is one that'll bring tears to your eyes. From Jay walking Mitch down the aisle to Phil officiating the ceremony, all while Claire's giving her speech in the background. Like most of Modern Family, this wedding is equal parts funny and heartwarming. Before sitcom weddings started using every character at their disposal as an officiant, member of the bridal party, and any other odd job, Full House depicted a more traditional wedding on TV. But what made it so special was Jesse singing the song he wrote for Becky and her joining him in harmony for a bit at the end, a major tearjerker. The most underappreciated bands of all time. Teenagers getting married isn't usually supported, but when a sitcom couple has loved each other since they were kids, all is forgiven. And watching Sean give Corey his blessing is about as sweet as the actual vows. Corey and Topanga have always made viewers believe in love, and their wedding was just another reason why. Monica and Chandler were the couple we didn't know we wanted together until they got together. And after learning that Monica's parents had spent all the money they had saved on her wedding on a beach house instead, we worried they'd be getting married in one of their apartments. But Monica got the wedding she'd always dreamed of, thanks to Chandler. 20 actors who became completely unrecognizable in roles. Another series finale wedding, Dwight and Angela's wedding, was a mix of the wedding Angela had always wanted, and the one Dwight had always shared weird details about. After a bumpy road, two people who were clearly, albeit strangely, meant to be together finally got married, standing in their own graves. As they'd hoped, Chuck and Blair's wedding was anything but boring. After witnessing Chuck's father's death, the two were on the run, and they needed to get married to ensure spousal privilege. Thanks to a well-oiled scheme from Jack and Georgina, everyone's favorite Upper East Side couple tied the knot in Central Park, only to be taken into custody seconds later. Gossip Girl to a T. How many of these major film debuts of A-list movie stars have you seen? At the beginning of the OC, Seth is in love with Summer, but it's unclear why. Thanks to some major character growth, though, she turns into the best possible version of herself, which happens to be the right partner for Seth. After letting each other grow a bit more on their own after high school, Seth and Summer find their way back to each other at the end of the aisle. Charlotte had it rough in love. She wanted nothing more than an epic love story and tried her hardest to find it, thinking she had in Trey. After a necessary divorce and a change of heart, she finally found Harry, her own epic love story. And it made their wedding all sorts of special. 20 times actors cleverly referenced one of their more famous roles in another film. Some might say Ross and Emily's wedding was one of the worst, but when it's looked at as a necessary chapter in Ross and Rachel's love story, it becomes one of the best. Plus, it was hysterical. Phoebe listening from New York, Ross saying Rachel's name, Monica and Chandler hooking up. It couldn't have been better television. Glee quickly became known for chaotic storylines, and the double wedding between Santana and Brittany and Kurt and Blaine was the perfect chaotic storyline. And watching Jennifer Coolidge go on and on about her husband missing everything while he's in the bathroom is the most hilarious detail the writers could have added. 20 awesome TV shows that were cancelled way too soon. We love a good TV wedding, but what we love even more is a good surprise TV wedding. April and Andy invited their guests for a dinner party only to surprise them all by marrying each other. Leslie does her best to convince April to at least think about what she's about to do, but she comes around in the end after seeing just how happy they are together. Did you enjoy this slideshow?